All right, we are moving on to the New Orleans Saints. We're doing a 7-round mock draft. If you are watching on YouTube, please do me a favor and subscribe. Hit the little bell notification. If you're watching on Facebook, of course, like the page. And maybe most of all, if you want to be involved and have a good time, join up with this guy right here. This is our Facebook group. This is where all the magic happens. What you're watching right now is the culmination of a $100 competition between the fine folks in our NFL Mock Draft Facebook group. This particular mock was done by Mr. Nick Reeder. He did a couple of them. If this video does the best of all of them, he's going to get $100. So make sure you join. We're going to be doing more fun competitions like this and whatnot. It's going to be all good. If you need help, how do I get this, that, or the other? Just let me know. I'll point you in the right direction. But just whenever you see these videos, just like, subscribe, all that stuff. I am not a Saints fan, as you can see, so I got to familiarize myself. So I just want to kind of go through my thought process. Then we'll get into the picks. Bing, bang, boom. So as I look at it, quarterback, Derek Carr is sort of the guy for now, right? I don't think that that's necessarily up for debate. Could be. We could take a swing at an option if it becomes available. But I think for now, from what I'm seeing, from what the GM is saying, we're going to try to make sure that he's the guy, at least for the sort of future. Wide receiver, Chris Olave is a fantastic player. I don't know how I feel about everything else. Michael Thomas is a free agent. That's been such a weird situation for a long time at 31 years old. We got, Rashid Shaheed. We've got A.T. Perry, but I don't know how much we like it. It wouldn't be the worst thing to take a swing at a wide receiver if it becomes available. Tight ends, we got bodies. I don't know how much we like it. We got Taysom Hill, obviously, who's that really unusual situation, but he's 34 years old. Juwan Johnson, who you can see here, who doesn't grade out very well. He's in his final year, and then we got Foster Moreau. Running back isn't the worst situation. We got Kamara, Kendre Miller, Jamal Williams. It's a solid group, but Kamara's 29. Kendre Miller is pretty young, but Jamal is also 29. We're okay for now, but, if it happens to come up, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Offensive line, kind of a big one. Andrus Peat, over here on the left side, is a free agent. He's 31 years old. I don't think he's coming back, but maybe. We do have Trevor Penning. Presumably, he's going to slot in there, and I don't know how good we feel about him. Now, we're not going to replace him right now, I don't think, but that may be coming down the pike if he can't kind of wake up a little bit. James Hurst, our left guard, is 33 years old, final year of his deal, and Max Garcia behind him, 33 years old, probably out the door. Eric McCoy is about the only thing on this offensive line I really like. Very solid football player. As you can see, graded out as the 5th best center, 27 years old. He's locked up for a while. Cesar Ruiz over here, right guard. He's 25 years old, so he's going to be around probably for a little while, but this is a disaster, and he needs to be replaced. The right guard behind him, as far as I can see, is Trey Turner. He is a free agent. Don't know if he's coming back. And then Ryan Ramczyk's been a solid player for a long time, but he is 30 years old. And so, he's locked up, I think, through 2026. But, again, at 30, you start to wonder if this play is going to continue to decline, right? He kind of peaked in 2019, and it's been sort of a slow regression ever since. We've got to get that figured out. The offensive line, not the greatest. Edge, it's kind of a similar situation. Like, I like Cam Jordan. He's been an elite player. Dude is 35. He's 35 years old. Look at that. It's been a real slow regression, but then you hit 2022 and it just went boom, right? So we got to do something here. We do have Carl Granderson, but he is, he's 28. He's fine, but what else do we have? We got Tano Passanio, who is in his final year at 30 years old. I don't know if we like him all that much. Isaiah Foskey, which is, for whatever reason, one of my favorite names to say. I don't know if we're super excited about him. We got to get some bodies there, man. Interior, we don't have a lot of talent. We got Brian Brzee, who's a young guy. Hopefully he can kind of step up. Malcolm Roach is presumably out the door. We got some bodies, but nothing super great. Even if Brzee steps up and becomes the guy we want him to be, we could use some help there. Linebacker, we also need a lot of help. Demario Davis is an elite football player. He's 35 in the final year of his contract. Pete Werner also in the final year of his deal, and as you can see, not the greatest football player in the world. We got Monty Rice in the final year of his deal, and Ty Summers and Andrew Dowell are also free agents. Nephi Sewell is the only guy that's locked up for the long term. So we probably could use some bodies there as well. Oh, and Zach Bond is a free agent, and DeMarco Jackson is locked up. Again, as far as starters go, we don't have much. Corner, I'm feeling a little bit better about it. Paulson Adebo's in the final year of his deal, but presumably we're going to lock him up. Marshawn Lattimore, he's going to be obviously a guy for a while. I think the only thing we might need to look at is slot. Alontae Taylor in the slot. He's 26, but he's just not a super great football player. And then safety, Tyrann Mathieu, great player, but he's 32 years old in the final year of his deal. Marcus May, 31 in the final year of his deal. So we need safety as well. So fortunately, we got a decent amount of picks here. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 picks. Let's see what kind of damage we can do. With the 14th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select J.C. Latham, tackle, Alabama. 6'6", 335. The guy's a monster. 21 years old, very, very young. Extremely good pass blocker. You can see the run blocking got better as it went along. He does have a little bit of versatility. Played some right guard a few years back, but primarily been a right tackle. You know, not hard to kind of figure out where this is going. We're probably going to go ahead and keep Trevor Penning over on the left side. This is going to be the future replacement for Ryan Ramczyk. Maybe in the meantime, he's our left tackle, right? And then Penning can kind of continue to sit and learn and grow. And so we got J.C. Latham and Ryan Ramczyk for a little while until Ramczyk hangs it up, and then we'll see what we got in Trevor Penning. I don't know if Penning could potentially slip inside in the meantime. That may be sort of the salvation there. Maybe that's already been in the works. I'm thinking out loud again as an outsider. With the 45th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Chris Braswell, edge rusher out of Alabama. We're doubling down on the Alabama boys, 6'3", 255 pounds. 56 pressures and 13 sacks on 309 attempts is pretty solid. You can see the grades. Last 2 years, he's been phenomenal as a pass rusher. Run defense, maybe not quite as much, but again, off the edge, we got Granderson. We got Cam Jordan for a little while. We could use the depth anyways. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having 3 top guys for a year or two, and then as we start to kind of fall off or whatever Chris Braswell kind of slots in. I do like Chris Braswell, by the way. I'm just kind of getting started, going through like the top 10s in each group, kind of getting my own feel for him. Braswell's one of the guys I would say I'm a little bit higher on than sort of his consensus, so I would be happy with him here. At 149, so we got to wait a while, about 100 picks, the New Orleans Saints select Jordan Jefferson. And by the way, there may be some, if you're looking at it like, well, this isn't where we actually pick, there's probably trades and whatnot. I'm not going to worry about it. The mock is what it is. Jordan Jefferson, defensive tackle, 6'4", 317 pounds. As you can see, he's more of a run defender than he is a pass rusher. 7 pressures on 203 attempts is not great, although 3 sacks on that is extremely high percentage. It's probably unsustainable. But what do we got for age? He's probably up in age. He's been there for a while. West Virginia, spent 1 year at LSU. But you know what you're getting, a 6'4", 320-pound, I don't want to say nose tackle because you're a 4-3 team, but you get that sort of the big one-tech guy or whatever, you know what I mean? And again, we could use the help on the interior. We got Brian Brzee. Hopefully he can kind of get to the quarterback, and we need a big guy next to him. With the 167th pick, the Las Vegas nope. I'm doing so many mocks in a row, I'm getting them mixed up. The New Orleans Saints select Joe Milton III out of Tennessee. So again, we got a quarterback, but it's sort of, and a lot of teams are in this situation where it's we've got a guy, but we know this isn't our 10-year plan, right? This isn't what we're going to be doing for a really long time. The only thing I'm a little iffy on with Joe Milton is that he's already 24. Now, if we move on next year, then he's 25, whatever. We'll get over it. If we get 10 years out of this guy, it's not a problem. But he's not necessarily a guy, 3 years at Michigan, 3 years at Tennessee. You want to sit for 2-3 years, and his first snaps as a player at 27 years old or whatever. But, Milton's got some talent, 6'5", 235. There's no issues there from a size standpoint. So, again, if you can bring him in, let him sit for maybe a year and see what you got next year, kind of reevaluate. Maybe we crash and burn and get a better quarterback next year. I don't know. But we got to take some swings when they're available. At pick 169, just a couple picks later, Mason McCormick, offensive guard out of South Dakota, 6'5", 315 pounds. He's really only ever played left guard. He's been playing at South Dakota for 6 years. You got that whole COVID thing. We're starting to see a lot more of this guys who've been in the league or in college for a while. But you look at these pass blocking grades, man, this guy's a wall. He doesn't let anything get through. He's allowed 3 sacks in his 6 years. I mean, 1 year he didn't play much. Call it 3 sacks in 5 years. In 3 of his 5 years, he allowed 0. Really good pass blocker. And then, you can start to see this is when he really figured it out. 70, 80, 90. Now, it's South Dakota, but still, I mean, we're late in this thing. You got yourselves an interior guy. And again, we need it. We need some help on the interior. At pick 174, one of my favorite guys, at least as far as later, Ray Davis, running back, 5'10", 216 pounds, 91.4 rushing grade. One of the guys on my Packers podcast, he called in, he said, who are like the Aaron Jones types? And I couldn't really find anybody that really ran like Aaron Jones did. Everybody's got their own style. But the metric I kind of went by was, who are those guys that get yards that when you're watching it, you don't think they're there? You watch them and you're like, oh, that's a 1-yard gain, and they somehow get 4. Dylan Laube was my favorite at that. Ray Davis was also one of those guys. I was a big fan of Ray Davis's ability to create what wasn't there. So as you can see, he grades out really, really well. 5'10", 216 is a nice size. I mean, he's a little bit shorter, but stocky. I'm a fan. I like the guy. Now, is it our biggest need? Not necessarily, but we know Alvin Kamara is not going to be around for too much longer. A couple more years maybe with him. And same with Jamal Williams. So we got Kendre Miller and not much else. So it's going to be a little crowded for a year or so, but you're kind of looking at Ray Davis taking over when that time comes. At pick 192, the New Orleans Saints select Tanner McLaughlin, 6'5", 240-pound tight end out of Arizona. Receiving grades 73. The drop grade, so he's got some good hands there. And then the blocking, a 70. That's pass blocking. I don't know about his run blocking. We could check that out, but it's not super necessary. 530 yards, 4 touchdowns is what he got. Again, we don't have a lot that we love. Jimmy Graham's probably out the door. Juwan Johnson, don't super love him in the final year. Foster Moreau, Taysom Hill. Taysom's 35 or whatever age he is. So it's like Foster Moreau. And there's been a lot of injuries there, too. I mean, Juwan Johnson missed 3 games. Foster Moreau missed a game. Two games. Taysom missed a game. I don't know what you get out of Tanner McLaughlin this late in the draft, but it certainly makes sense to take a swing and see what we can get. One of the more difficult names at pick 201, I'm going with Maima Nemeta. 6', 240 linebacker out of Wisconsin. I should know his name. I'm in Wisconsin, but I'm not a super loyal Badger fan, I'm sorry to admit. But Maima Nemeta is going to be our linebacker. As you can see, we'll see how he tests. I'm assuming he's going to be at the combine, but more of a coverage guy, you could say. At least this past year he was, the year before, run defense. So I don't know. I don't know what you're looking for. Maybe if it's a 2022 kind of deal. And the Packers do this a lot. I'm sure a lot of teams do also. Not sure about the Saints, but last year the Packers went, like every guy they got, it was the year prior that they really broke out that you got to watch their film. And that could be the same thing with Nemeta. You're trying to get a diamond in the rough here. Maybe he had a slight step back in 2023, although it was a good year, but you watch his 2022 tape and you're getting a guy, 90 PFF grade, 86 run defense, 80 tackling, 87 pass rush. I know not everybody loves PFF, but it's a nice little snapshot. Although we assume it's probably off in some ways, it's it's more right than just guessing, I guess. So again, linebackers, that's a big one. We've got like one more year of linebackers, and after that, it's going to be tough to find guys. And then finally, at pick 230, Andrew Phillips, University of Kentucky Wildcats corner, 6', 187. We got a guy, Jake Shavink. He's got his own YouTube channel. You should check it out. It's all NFL draft also, but he works with us over at Packernet Podcast. He's a big fan of Andrew Phillips. I haven't watched him yet, but we just talked about it yesterday, and I put him on my list because of him. He's a big fan. But, at cornerback, again, I don't know. He's not listed as a slot here. At 6', 187, maybe he will do some slot. Otherwise, it's depth. We're getting late into the 7th round. Yadam is a free agent. Shamar Jean-Charles is a free agent. Amadi is a free agent. Lonnie Johnson is a free agent. A lot of bodies leaving. So really, we've got 3 starters and 0 depth. So it's certainly something that needs to be addressed, and so we're going to take a swing at Andrew Phillips, and who knows, maybe he can come in and do some damage for us. So anyways, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do, and make sure you comment on these videos also, because, again, there's $100 on the line for the guys that do the best mock drafts. So do me a big favor. Do them a big favor. Go through the different mock drafts that are in this little series we're doing, and don't thumbs down, because it's just going to hurt my channel, and I would appreciate it if you didn't do that. But leave a comment saying, I didn't like it, or if you really like it, share it around, like it, comment, do all that stuff, just so I can kind of figure out which video is the best to determine which mock draft was the best and give somebody $100. So I would appreciate it, and certainly whoever wins will appreciate it. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later.